All right, so a story broke recently, just yesterday, the distribution of palliatives to cushion the effects of the removal of fuel subsidy by the government reportedly got into an issue in Ondo State, as one of the commissioners in the state, Dr. Mrs. Adebunmi Osadahun, was beaten up to a pulp. According to the story, the fight broke out when some leaders of the APC from the Arigidi, Akoko, alleged that the exercise was shrouded in secrecy by government officials and kicked against the arrangement, alleging that the commissioner was marginalizing him in the sharing of palliative. If you recall, this issue of palliative, when it started, after the subsidy removal, the president had offered initially to send 8,000 naira across to Nigerians, to 12 million poor Nigerians. Many of us rejected it, saying that it's not about the money, that they need to put other incentives, maybe transportation, discounts, which a few states actually implemented. Then they went on to the 5 billion naira per state that each of the states was supposed to get, of which I think it was 45% or 48% will be returned. Anyways, many states got these palliatives and were supposed to distribute it. NLC raised dust, saying that they were involved in the national level at the meetings to discuss palliatives. When it came to the state chapters, we're not involved in the distribution. So NLC said, you didn't call us when how you plan to distribute. Now, maybe we've scaled the NLC part. Now it's not going to local governments. Some are now saying that the commissioners, or according to in this case specifically, that they were not involved in the sharing. Some commissioners with the local government chairman and all the other various stakeholders felt they should also be involved, that they were being marginalized in the sharing. Now, aside from this matter, because this matter is that this man, I think they have his name here, I think it's Olariwaju, let me get his name. He's the Ward Chairman of the party in Arigidi, in Akoko Northwest, Olumide Awolumate, was present, and he was present at the distribution, but nobody knew what transpired between them. He carried a chair and hit this woman. She's the commissioner. Ew. He hit her head. We could see the swollen head. We could see a bit of blood patches around her head. And this is the issue of palliatives. Nigerians will say, distribute palliatives. They need palliatives. And when we do it, this is what results. Now, what are your thoughts? We'll start with the attack, and then we'll come to the issue of what's the best system to distribute palliatives to Nigerians. So let's start with this attack. What are your thoughts on the attack? What are the criteria for leadership? How does somebody become a leader? How does somebody rise to become a ward leader? What are the characters that the person displayed that earned him that leadership position? So for me, when I saw that video, I saw, how would you get someone to become a leader that has anger management issues, that cannot control himself? If you cannot control yourself, control your emotion as an adult, there's a problem. Your inability to control yourself as a leader becomes a worse problem, because you will now cause a stem of violence to flow through everybody you are leading. How then can you lift a chair to hit a woman? Ew. Obviously, we cannot argue domestic violence is happening in that situation, even in the household. Exactly. Because I saw the face of the man and I'm wondering, this is not a man that should be a leader in any form. And I know human beings are allowed to get emotional and get angry, but like, acting on your emotion and acting on your anger differentiates you from being a leader, a human being, or an animal that cannot control him or herself. Putting that on one side, the second part for me is palliative is food, giving is leverage. So if the woman is seen to be sharing palliative, the glory of the palliative, which gives you leverage, comes to the woman. The man wants to be involved in the sharing. So the glory and the power and the influence will come to him as well. Everybody is fighting for their own pocket. The concern is not about the citizens of Ondo State. Wait, pause. Let us take that in, because Nigerians must understand this thing. What you are saying, what you are communicating is one thing to share. It's another thing to distribute. The distributor himself wants to feel like, it is in me the glory. I gave you. It's not your father's property. It's government property. It's me that gave you. So you thank me. You're now allegiant. I have influence over you. Father in heaven. You owe me. When I say vote for this person, you vote for the person. If I give out 10 bags of rice, those 10 people, those 10 families are beholden to me. I have power. The woman may have been seen as paying. So you want to run for office in future. So you want to be the one distributing. I will show you that I'm in charge. Okay. So that's an angle. Interesting. Let me come to you.
Institutions to share. Thank you.
You want to see why?
We must use individuals. We must use institutions to share.
Exactly.
There should be somebody like NEMA who is reaching out, or, you know, the office of the, what's her name, Better Edu's office, you know, who is reaching out in each state, making sure they go out.
Let me even add to
not
that.
One politician, not, in fact, no politician.
Let me have a better suggestion.
Because
Let's use religious bodies. Churches, mosques have been distributing palliative for forever. They have a system. No, see, there are small scales of religious. Every group has their own. For example, RCCG has many churches, has many branches in the smallest of the smallest. Same thing as Winners.
Yes.
Mosques. Everybody have branches.
All the mosques are always giving every day.
Through the churches.
There's no connection.
Churches have a system in place.
The abuse is huge. They will give to only members. Not every neighborhood member is a member. Now, I can argue it. Because the last palliative they did during COVID did not reach my community at all. We don't have church. A very big Catholic church is there. They had to be doing from their pocket. So, and if they were to do strictly for people who would show up, it would be members. I live on that street. I would not go there. So the CDA would be a better alternative.
Yes. Okay.
If these agencies were used to assess CDAs, they will be made to give notices to every resident member. Notices will go around that so day. Come out
now.
If you live here.
What happened?
You understand? No. The agencies will come to your meeting and distribute, not a politician in your community, enough for them to throw share and break somebody's head in public. Because over food. You know that if we say it as it is, in our own local way, now they fight over food. You break Picking head over food.
So if the chairman press, for example, calls in your neighborhood, he can't call BC. BC will not show up. But BC will go to our church. I agree with you. We can do it simultaneously. Where there are certain people that you call within the local government.
There are some
people that traditionalists will call and they will listen. You can't call BC but will call me for a traditional way, come and collect rights. I won't answer you. But if my church says, government sent us 10,000 to give to members, we will come. We will know how to pick it up. There's a way. There's a system where we know. But those who are in the community will go to their albers.
So I agree with you in the sense that we have a way of trusting our religious systems more than even the government, right? So if you make that call, like I remember during COVID-19, this church, House on the Rock, shared things to people who were not members. Anybody just walking. They were giving clothes, they were giving food. You didn't need to be a member.
From the pocket of House of the Rock.
Yes.
That's what we are saying.
I'm just saying. Now, if government now says, okay, these people already have a system on how to share, and we come in with our resources and say, okay, this is for everybody in this neighborhood. You just make an announcement.
How you want to get data?
No, hold on now. Tell your friend, tell your neighbor, everybody just open, our doors are open, you come in, you register, you collect, and you
doesn't mean that you negate the local government.
No,
they will still do their own.
They will do.
Local government will still do their own. Because they have to
let me break down my point.
This takes it away from, like you said initially, the politicians standing in front to present because of what they want to benefit.
I've even removed the politician. I'm saying, let's say NEMA reaches out in an emergency, because I give out palliatives. If you don't have a data and a proper structure of how to give out, somebody will collect everybody's own as he's collecting one. He will go and come back and replace himself. But if you worked with the CDA, for instance, we have an estate WhatsApp group of every tenant and resident in the estate. They will reach out by WhatsApp. So day, Thursday, the Kinikon month of the year is distribution from the agency. The agency comes with their official, no logo of party, no logo of any politician, and there are politicians within the estate. And there are people who are affiliated to certain politicians who are living there as well. But no logo. Agency, clearly NEMA or LASEMA or whoever, whichever the state is, and they are giving out. Per resident, house number, so and so. Dagbaja clearly receives her own and goes back home.
Dagbaja has 100 people living in her house. Listen,
I will not use. Wait, hold on a minute.
There are different levels of this in Nima.
Residents,
we're taking it up. Okay, wait, pause.
We're talking the distribution.
I'm just telling you that it's not as easy as the because
it's the easiest. I have tested it from childhood.
Adults who are also Nigerian citizens who deserve a palliative. So there are different ways of doing this thing. But let me come to Tosin calling from Ikoyi. Good morning, Tosin. You're live. Hello, Tosin, you're live. Okay.
So I've not finished, I've not spoken about the man that carried chair.
As in
public.
In public.
Number one, he needs to be punished for this. He's not a good example as a leader. as a political leader, he needs to be either demoted, suspended, punished. He needs to go to an anger management class. We need to start holding our leaders accountable. You don't do that you didn't even do it to a man. You did it to a woman. What are you teaching the young men who will come to you tomorrow that they are beating up their wives? What do you tell them? And we need to also verify his home, because if he can lift chair and hit a woman in public, something is happening in that. I'm sure his wives are collecting back to back. So we need to set an example. People need to be able to control their bodies. Everybody gets upset. Everybody gets angered in one way or the other. But when you're in the public, even when you're at home, you should learn how to take a deep breath. Calm down. You don't react like that. And then if it goes away scot-free, it's back to patriarchy. It's back to patriarchy, where women can be silenced and nothing will be done about it. So this man needs to be punished. He needs to collect.
Still discussing this issue of palliative, and I'd like to pick up on when, I'm coming back to you, because you said something and it struck a chord in me. You said something about we need to take a deep breath. We need to have anger management classes. And what came to my mind is that these are like foreign solutions to a local problem. Let me tell you why. Because we've always said on this table that maybe our leaders need to be swearing with shigedi. I think because if they do that, maybe they'll act differently, because we make them swear with the Bible or the Quran. And then they do certain things. That this anger management, this deep breath that we take in all this our coaching classes, doesn't work for certain kind of people. We need certain kinds of local solution to help people like that, because you will see the rage in these people's eyes when they are sharing palliatives. Something more Jegba-ish needs to be done. Where there's got to be something more drastic, in the sense that something that will connect to this kind of leadership that we see. So sometimes maybe we need to look within. Because all these, each of us trying to give them an anger management class, it's not going to work.
No. I disagree with you. Okay. We need to understand what anger is. Anger stems from a place of fear, first of all. Fear of losing control. Check the situation of what happened. He felt, this other person is sharing, I have lost the people. I have lost control. And then you react out of fear. Now, those anger managements helps you understand that what is the driving force is not the emotion per se. It's the fear that you are losing control. You can actually, and when you have fear that you're losing control, you overreact. You can actually take back your control by understanding your emotions. That's all I'm saying. Understand your emotions. Amadioha is a temperamental God. Even the God of the Old Testament is a temperamental God. He will get upset, he will kill his people, he will send them to slavery, they will beg him again, he will forgive them, he will bring them back. Read your scriptures, it's there. So we're not saying you should not have those feelings, but we're saying understanding where the feelings are coming from helps you manage yourself at the time. And it works for everybody, no matter who you are. You can calm down, take a deep breath, and before you react again, you react from a more responsive, you react from a more a place of understanding, you react from a place of compassion after you have calmed down. There's nobody who gets upset 24 hours without having a minute to calm down. And we're saying in this situation, please take yourself out and calm down. That's all.
Good, well said. Let me take this call. Good morning, you're live.
Good morning, Nancy.
Morning.
Good morning.
Morning. You're live. Go ahead,
Nima,
please.
you're welcome. Nima, you're welcome.
Nima, you're welcome.
Thank you, sir.
You're most welcome. I'm one of the...
Thank you.
Now, let's go straight to the point. Look, I think the best mode of supply of this, the best to be the church. Say, for example, in the Catholic Church, you have a society called St. Vincent de Paul. Every year, they give, things to the poor, the widow, the hungry. You understand me now? And in such a way that they cannot take in many churches, same Catholic Church. No, it's done at the same time.
It's not very clear, Mr. Ladipo. It's calling for Joe. I'm not sure why it's not clear. We couldn't hear you very well, Mr. Ladipo, but thank you. I think we got an idea what you're saying about church. But I have somebody who is contradicting that. I'm not sure he wants me to mention his name. But send me a message, Mariah. I live in Lagos, but I keep in touch with goings on in my community in Akwa Ibom. Giving to churches to distribute will be disastrous, because our churches, I'm sorry to say, suffer from the same societal malaise. Fights occur in churches oversharing of money and other stuff provided by politicians and all. Church members kill each other. I gave bags of rice to my community women last Christmas, and you can't believe the bloody fights that broke out amongst women. So, yes, you're right.
Churches.
But the different churches.
Yeah.
But I guess the reasoning, yeah, but the reasoning I was trying to apply or employ was that many churches already have a distribution system in place. Now, it might not be perfect.
That they fund.
But the government can liaise or can partner with many of these institutions and try to, imagine the Central Mosque, for example, they have other mosque links. I'm just saying it's a suggestion where they can still, the idea really is to find an existing system to key into, and in addition to the local government distributions.
So that
I'm just saying, gets round.
So there are structures in some churches and mosques, and there are some that they don't have. So using religious organization, it's like this is, look at that woman's hair. This is a human being that is a commissioner that is serving. And sometimes the reason this woman probably had to go and do physical, personal sharing is so that she's sure that it is going.
Exactly.
So that nobody...
But she's attending the state council meetings every Monday morning. And she reports to the governor, we distributed.
I want to be there. I want to see it by myself that the food is going round. And then somebody is feeling like you are taking over my authority, and then she gets beaten. So, of course, we know that there should be punishment to say that as a party, the APC does not support violence. You know, APC does not believe it. This does not follow our character, our values. This is not who we are. So first, we have demoted him while there is a prosecution going on. This is not a family issue. It should not be settled inside the house. There should not be any assumption of the fact that they will resolve it among themselves, because we know what we tend to hear when these kind of things happen is that they are settling out of court or they are settling it personally. No.
If she give the beggar,
the reason you should not settle personally on this one, it's not because you want to fight. It's because you want to set an example, so that things like this will never happen to any other person again. That's the reason. You are not being vengeful, Commissioner. You are not. They should not beg you to step down. The conversation should be around the fact that if justice is not served in this matter, this would happen in the next few months. It will happen in the next
let me take this call because Ibrahim from Mokota, thanks for calling. You're live. Ibrahim.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Everybody.
Yes.
Madam Nima, you are welcome back.
They really missed you.
Actually, I wanted to speak on the first one, which is when we brought the commissioner, the policeman, concerning the youth not accepting judgment, even the police did thorough investigation. I think we are giving our youth some liberty. We can do things and make sure that they have to be satisfied with everything. Law does not work the way they want and can never work their way. We need to learn the process, how things work, and try to.
I'm having trouble hearing. Did you hear?
Talking about the first
topic, mobile.
No, the police segment that we had, that the law does not work how we think. The law has a structure of how it works.
Yeah.
Trying to allude to, a petition being followed up. Investigation.
All right, talking about palliatives, in a related story, we got the message from the Katsina governor intercepting police officers who reportedly or allegedly stole subsidy palliatives. Goes back to, you see, we don't trust each other. You see, that's one of my frustrations in our country, because government is always the easiest people to point at. But all of us have somewhat guilt in our various pockets. According to Katsina Times, the governor intercepted the police officers who reportedly stole. So subsidy that is meant for the people. But it's possible that he also, we don't know how true it is. It's still an allegation.
Well, it's not today. They've always stolen from the IDPs. People in charge.
People in charge.
Complain.
Yes.
Yes.
So it's
lack of,
you're right.
Lack of prosecution of those in charge.
That is why
this particular case in Ondo, for instance, should be made an example of. If the people they were giving the food were fighting and struggling to get more, I would not be upset like this. But one individual is saying, you have not given me to give. To leverage, Abi, what's the point that you made? To leverage, that person is corrupt to the bone. Because ordinarily, you allow the commissioner finish distributing before you highlight and say, this segment of my people whose interests I hold are yet to get. We've had that experience before. We did something during COVID where I decided open 2 bags and let us share it. Because by community were coming and saying, you are not talking about us. COVID palliative, will you not get here? And do you know where the first factory was broken? It was in Ojo. It was in Mazamaza, where people went into warehouses and stole foods. People's businesses were being attacked. If it was those people who were hungry, out of hunger, breaking it, I would understand because we've seen it before. But one person saying, give me everything, I'm the one who should distribute.
Let me take this call
that
from
person
Hope.
Is corrupt to the teeth.
Hope calling from Ejibo. Thanks for calling.
Good morning, Matthew.
Good morning.
What I want to say is not about palliative, please. I need job. I can clean your office. I can do any work I beg.
Interesting.
Thank you very much. Before we move on to take some comments on social media, the caller who called concerning a job, what you should do, you see, it's always easy for Nigerians to just call and say, I want a job, come and hire me. It doesn't work like that. There's something called a website, www.tvcnews.ng. Go there, go online, search for jobs, apply. It's a process. After you apply, if you are shortlisted, you will be invited. It's a process. Not until you call somebody. I can't say, come and work. How? Is it my father's company? No. You can't even be my father's company. You can't do the process. Nigerians, there are processes to things. Not like just say, call, bring somebody, get a job. It doesn't work like that anymore. Go to their website, apply. You'll be called once you're qualified, you'll be shortlisted, and then you take it from there, please. Yeah. Let's take a few comments on social media.
Smiling at me.
Jules said he has assaulted the woman and should be arrested. Good Beats Entertainment says, why do we act like animals? He also says, that was disgraceful. He needs to go to jail.
He says, it's corrupt to the bone marrow safe. Ogumola Emmanuel says, governance isn't that hard. It only seems so because the system isn't structured and checked. Things can be micromanaged from the local units, but because of chua-chua, coordinators won't allow it. How they want gain.
This thing Tokwe said earlier, let's talk about it before we wrap up. This issue of leverage. How do we cut off these middlemen? You know, that's the real issue. That's what technology does. That's what... How do we cut off these guys that need this distribution to show that I am the chairman, I am the ward chairman, I mean they in charge?
Systems you put structures. You put systems in place. Everybody goes through the due process. So it takes out all the politicians. It takes out all the people who want to show their face. Nobody's seeing the face. They're just hearing government is the one providing this. If you go abroad, you see some of these shelters where people can get in to sleep or go to eat. You know, those food houses where people, if you're not earning any money, you can go there. They'll serve you. They serve their meals there. Nobody sees any councillor there. Nobody sees any mayor there presenting and serving the people. They just know that government has made this provision. They employ people to run the kitchen, to run the shelters. They pay them. They are part of the civil service. They pay them for that. And citizens are able to get the benefits. So we need proper systems. We need the LCDAs need to step in here and say anything that is coming to our people must pass through the LCDA. So you don't have to boycott them. You must go through them, go through the right system, and then we don't need all this.
We have a problem of data and, you know, how do I put it in Nigeria? There's also the problem of the people against the people. What I would suggest that later worked in Lagos was the creation of the food kitchens. So instead of giving you the palliative, if we have 30,000 bags of rice, those 30,000 bags of rice, Ojo, Alimosho, all the areas you want, create a food kitchen per street. Employ the workers. Their own is to cook daily. People passing by, collect, chop, and go.
Oh, yeah.
So me, if I'm too big to collect the food kitchen food, this means I don't need a palliative. But people who truly, sincerely need it will never see food being cooked and pass it. I remember then, even though we were eating at home as a student, I used to collect all the food kitchen. All the
like that. So
I will eat any food because
that's part of the reasons why BVN was so important. Because BVN tracks everything about you, your social status, what you need. Government, and that's what government wanted to send 8,000 naira because we rejected, we resisted it. That it can help us to understand who actually needs this 8,000 naira. Okay, yes, we don't trust the system, no problem. But sometimes when you have a BVN, they now know where to reach you. Okay, you need this palliative. They come to you because there's a system.
They can tell what is in your account.
Yes, and they can bring it to your house. They can give you groceries. They can do stuff for you. But that's part of the...
That's great. But also, this one they are doing in Lagos, by, you know, putting the subsidy on transport fares in the public buses and also putting out food kitchen. That food kitchen, fantastic. They don't pay your transport half.
Olabi, our final call this morning. Let me let you go and we wrap up. Olabi? Oh, I'm so sorry.
So you know why I like why I like the food kitchen is, you know, when they give you the rice and the beans, you still need to look for money to buy tomatoes,
gas,
buy pepper, the gas or kerosene you want to use to cook. But when the food is cooked, you go there, you eat. That sorted you for the lunch or dinner.
Even if you want to be a glutton, you go chop. You know, go.
You know, there's a church I know that did this, but unfortunately, people abused it. Because I go there, and then you come with your children, your aunties, before you know it, and now because I know the person who is serving me, they'll prioritize me. You know, we always kind of corrupt it in the most small way. It's part of the greed thing. So even if it's a good idea, people will still find a way to manipulate this. So that's why we just have to find a better way. But we have to we're
not going to import people that will solve the problem.
We will.
Lucky lads.
We have to run, but I got a message from I guess this caller might be getting a job, but no, I didn't promise you a job. But the HR said to give you the right website. It's actually tvccommunications.tv. www.tvccommunications.tv. Go there. There's a place called career section. Roles available are advertised there. Check it. If you believe you qualify, apply. If you qualify indeed, you will be shortlisted. Then an interview will take place. And if you're picked, and if you're not picked, it's okay. Go through another website.
Nobody should come and ask me for the websites. Yeah. Watch the show and hear.
Okay, that's all we can take on today's show. Are you vexing? See you tomorrow. Bye for now. And to talk about what's that website?